keep the marriage fresh over 40 years.
是不是有什么东西引领带领着他们，让他们经历这个婚姻还那么甜蜜呢？
So what was the secret to make it so sweet?
我很想听他们的分享
I really want to know what they do.
但我觉得这个不应该只是我自己一个人独享，
So I thought it shouldn't just for me.
这个秘诀应该是在大家中分享
So，it should be known to everyone.
所以呢，就有了今天的聚
So
会。
that's why this come to being.
Pastor Connie 呢，他除了是我们教会的牧师，
So Pastor Connie is our pastor in our church.
他还是他还是一位家庭治疗师。
So she is also a family therapist.
我感觉他里面应该认识很多的一些东西，能知道如何保持婚姻的那个新
So I
鲜。
think she know more about family.
我们今天有请我们的 Pastor Ming 还有 Pastor Connie 一
So
起
invite
过来。
Pastor Ming and Pastor Connie.
哦，还有想问一下，不好意思，我们今天这场聚会呢是用普通话还有英文的，然后主要是以英文来为主。我们这边呢有普通话的翻译，如果你需要普通话的翻译，可以请你坐在这边吗？我们Sophie姊妹会帮你们翻译，有需要吗？
不要客气啊，
不用客气，这边可以翻译的，对
对。坐
如果
在哪边？
你需要听普通话的，
我们单单讲英文，
对，
so 省一点时间，好吗？
坐这边，帮了你们坐这边，
不要客气，需要就坐在那边。
谢谢，谢谢。
Thank you very much. Good to see you all. Well, I just want to take this opportunity to say that no, we are not model couples. We make a lot of mistakes, like many people. All right. So I believe your marriage may be better than ours. So we are just sharing our journey, and hopefully it can bless you. That is our heart.
Before I share, I just want to thank you, my wife, to walk with me for 40 years. For so long, she's so patient, so loving. And every day, I will give my wife a kiss. And a big hug. That's my everyday life. That's most important. First day of our life is start with a big hug and a big kiss.
Thank you. And yeah, so over 40 years, we raised 3 kids, and they're all lovely kids. And we have 1 grandchild. And we are very thankful for our children, and we are very thankful for God. Actually, He is the one who sustains us. And so to conclude that 40 years, to just quick conclusion, actually, it is God is able to bless us and you abundantly. So that in all things, at all times, have all that we need and also you need. And we will abound in every good work. So that is the promise of God, and He's the one who bless us. He's the one who sustains us. Right. So we have received many questions from our congregation, and so we are trying to answer them one by one. And Heidi is going to show the questions, right?
I just ensure everyone understand at the moment.
Oh, okay. Is our English okay for you?
Or too fast or too slow.
Are we speaking too fast?
Good.
Good. Oh, good.
I want to make sure everybody here is comfortable, not miss anything.
Thank you, Pastor Con and Pastor Ming. We all know that you both were raised in Hong Kong. So how did you know each other? This is our first question. And the second one is, did you fall asleep in the first sight? They fall in love. They fall in love in the first flight.
I never.
Yes. So you laugh and you wake up.
I didn't fall asleep. When I saw her, I feel awake. Yeah, I think that was really impossible for us to meet at all, because I was born in Hong Kong and raised up in a poor family. I would no way that be able to study in England. But somehow, after I believe in Jesus, my life belonged to Him. So when I turned to thinking of going to university, and before that, my elder sister married to a man who won a restaurant in England. So that's why, because she married to my brother-in-law, and then I have a chance to go to study in England. And during that time, after studying 2 years called GCA level, the school, the tuition fee gone up from 1,000 to 3,000 pounds. And then at that time, I thought of no way I could study further because I have no money. And but somehow inside me, and also my sister telling me that I should stay to study, and even though it's not easy. And then after I registered to a university, and I went there just ask any subjects, because at that time very late already. Any still vacancy in any subject I will study, and paying cheaper, 2,000 pounds, not 3,000. So I just went to enroll into a course at the university that I never enrolled. So because of that, one day someone invites us to go to a church on Sunday, and that church first started. So we were invited to go to that church. And then the first time we went there, and only the first time, and will be the last time, because we just went there for just to support them. And then when I sat on one place, I still remember Connie sat next to me on my now right-hand side. That's how we met.
Well, Ming say he came from a poor family. I am the opposite. I came from a wealthy family. So all my siblings, I have 4 brothers and sisters, and they all go abroad for their study. But it's impossible for me to go to England because my grandparents, my mother's parents, are in Canada. So all my siblings were graduated in Canada, all the university in Canada. So I should have gone to Canada. All right. So at that time, because I wanted to study education, and then my mom say, if you want to study education, you should not go to Canada. You should go to England, because Hong Kong was under England. So the system is the same. If you go to Canada, Canada is the same system as America. So that's the only reason I go to England. But I had no friend. I have no family. But in Canada, I have everything. My family eventually migrated, the whole family migrated to Canada. So I was the only one went to England. So at that time, I finished my high school in Hong Kong. So I applied a few universities in England, and they gave me a conditional offer. That means if you have to sit the exam in Hong Kong, if your result is good enough, then they'll accept you. But after the results came out, my result was not good enough for any university in England to accept me. So after I submitted, they replied me, and then I received the letter. It said, "We are regret to inform you that you're not up to our standard," something like that. So I was so depressed. Imagine you receive one letter after another letter. You say, "We regret to inform you that. We regret to inform you that. We regret to inform you that." 5 letters like that. I'm so depressed. So to me, it was hopeless. So no way. Hong Kong, you will not accept me. No university in England can accept me. So I was so depressed. I was crying. I still remember. And then one day, in my room, on my desk, there was a letter right in front of me. So I pick it up and I read it again. And that letter say, "We want to invite you to come to our university." Well, what is that? And I check it again. It's University of Warwick. And I said, "Oh, I threw this letter away. I'm sure I threw this away. I read it and threw it away." And I don't know who put it back on my desk. I know it's the angel. So, and I read it again and again because I thought my English was not good enough. Maybe I misunderstood it. So after reading, and if they really say they wanted me. So I just told my mom, there's a university accepting me. So it was a miracle that God did to bring me to England. Otherwise, I won't be there. Otherwise, I won't meet him. All right. So that's what happened. So in 1 week, from a very depressed, hopeless situation, I was in England all by myself in the dorm of a university. So it was Saturday. So at that time, I was already a Christian. So I went to the new place. I have no family, no friends. I only have God. And that it was Saturday. And then on Sunday, I was looking for a church to go. So I went out. Everything was closed. There's no church. It's university campus. So eventually, I found a small chapel. They opened, and that is a Catholic chapel. So I went in, and I didn't understand what they do. I didn't understand. My English was not that good at that time. So I sneak in, and once they finish, I'm getting ready to run away. So at the door, I was caught by a very big Englishman, and he just grabbed me. Are you Chinese? Oh, yes, I am. But hey, I'm bringing you to a Chinese fellowship this afternoon. You want to come with me? And then for me, Christian, Chinese, of course I go. All right. So although I didn't know him, and yes, I go. And they go, okay, I'll come to pick you up. And then I went that afternoon. So I was sitting next to Ming. That's how we met.
Wow, that's so good story. So as we know that this is very good, a miracle appointment between you, so that you know each other, then you get married. So in this 40 years, what has kept your relationship so strong?
I think so important is both of us. Our future is in God's hand, and even our marriage is in God's hand. Because when I was young, I see many family. Because I live in a poor area, I always went to different houses. I didn't see any good family at all. They always arguing, so many conflicts between each others. So I had no hope about good family at all during that time. But after I believe in Jesus, I start to know that there should be, I admire for a good family. So once we got married, of course, we know that marriage is ordained by God. God wants good family too. And then since I accept Jesus, I feel that the love of God is within me, and forgiveness of God is within me. So every day I follow God to follow His way, and that's why after I got married, I really treasure a good wife. I really long for a good family, and I see many Christian, more mature Christian from USA. They say they got children already, but I find that they love each other so much, and they always talk like a lover. No, they got children already, teenagers, 6. They always hug to each other. Hi, honey. I so sweet. I find that I want this family like that. So that's why since we got married, it's a good example, and that their love is so fresh, not like our Chinese call. Once we got married, used to be lover, and then after you got married, it's become 老婆. 老婆, that means so old. No, I found that our love between each other should be fresh, because the love of God should be fresh. So that's why all this year, we let God's love to be within us, let forgiveness within us, and let God take control of the whole family. So from the beginning, we really treasure one another, and we really love to learn to love one another. We learn to forgive one another, and we learn to communicate with others in God's love.
He never called me 老婆. Okay. All right. So change your word, right? Yes, I think it's really keep knowing God and keep serving God. I think that's the key. Yeah. And the Bible say, can you take the Bible say, Jesus is before all things, and in him all things hold together. The whole universe was held by Jesus. The whole universe, the sun, the moon, everything was held by Jesus. And the same as marriage. So in a marriage, you need a third party. That is Jesus. Let Jesus be your third party in your marriage. He hold everything together. He hold your marriage together. 如果需要国语翻译的，可以坐在哪边哦？
有没有其他需要国语
啊
翻？可以坐在
Sophia
Sophia 那边。
对啊，随便啊，不要客气。Number 3.
Okay. 然后 sorry. I also want to know that what role does communication play in your marriage? How do you keep it healthy?
First thing I must let people note, amazingly, God created men and women very differently. That's why some people say woman is from the other planet, from Venus. Man is from Mars. It's true, men and women think differently. But somehow God create men and why create men and women so differently is they complement each other. Without men, woman cannot be good. Without woman, men cannot be good. So that's why when God put them together, it's perfect. So sometimes we always think each other. Why you think this one? See, why you always opposite to me? My wife always the same. When I like these things, she always say no, and no, so ugly. And she choose other thing. No, I don't like it. That's why we hardly buy things for each other because I tell her not to buy things for me. I don't buy things for her because we have so different tastes. But how come for so many years we can still love each other, all because of His love? And also we understand we are different, but we can communicate. That's why from the beginning of our marriage, every night we talk. When the children all went to bed, we talk, we pray. So sometimes I have some misunderstanding about her, she can explain to me. So that is important. Communication is one most important things in marriage.
Yes, but healthy communication doesn't come natural because naturally we are all self-centered, right? We only know what we think. We don't care what other people think, right? We are like that too, all right? But as we follow Jesus, Jesus changed us. So we are thinking what God thinks and what other people think. And that takes a bit of self-awareness and also intentional learning. So communication, because it's not natural, but because communication is not only words. When you are bitter and angry, it's very hard to say nice words, right? All right. If you're happy, you're full of love, they're easy to say nice words. So your words is not just words. Your words carry your emotion, carry your attitude, actually carry what is in your heart. So that's why the Bible say, out of your mouth flow your heart. So if you have love in your heart, you have lovely words. If you have bitterness in your heart, you have nasty words. So it's not just change the word, it's change the heart. All right. And how can we change the heart? When Jesus come in, he changed our heart. So he is doing the job. So that's why when we open and let Jesus come in, he changed our heart. And then gradually our words just change. So that's how to keep it healthy.
Wow. In your marriage, you have such a good health communication. So we still want to know that, do you have any conflict during your marriage? And how do you resolve this disagreement and or conflicts?
I think it's very normal that husband and wife have conflicts, some even arguments. Sometimes it's come to a point it's hard to resolve. But the good thing is, as a Christian, we have third party. That's why Connie just shared we need a third party. Because the third party is the love, bring us together. So sometimes we are facing challenge or difference, we individually turn to God So we go back to the Lord, worshiping and listening to His word, studying the Bible, and very often that is solved in this way. And then once our hearts being softened, maybe God telling you to forgive, so we receive God's love, receive His forgiveness, and then we can forgive, and then we can talk. So we are not trying to resort it. Oh, now you have to talk with me. No, sometimes we can wait. She went to the Lord by herself. I went to seeking God's face by myself, and then after a while, our hearts are softened, and then we can still talk. We can still pray together. That is very important. Make sure that your love and forgiveness always there because of God Himself.
So how to resolve disagreement? Actually, we always have disagreement, but it not necessarily to conflict. So we accept that we look at things differently. We accept we have different opinion. No big deal. No big deal. You don't force you cannot force anyone look the same as you or think the same as you. So we accept disagreement. So for small things, it doesn't really matter. It's okay. But if something important, but we do not agree, as Ming say, so we'll take some time, pray, all right? Sometimes still not agree. We still cannot come to agreement. Then eventually we have to make a decision. For example, we have to make a decision, but we have different opinion. So after praying, we still have different opinion. So then what should we do? So usually we already communicate. I tell him what I think. He told me what he think. And then we still have two opinions. Then I will submit to him. I say, you make the decision, but you also responsible for the issue. All right. So as women, submitting is good. Let your husband make the final decision if he has already seek God. All right. Then you submit to him, but whatever consequence, he is the one who responsible. So that make the man more responsible, which is make them man.
Yeah, sometimes people will think about that we need independent in our marriage. So I will see a question is about like, how do you balance individual independence with togetherness in a marriage?
I think even we married, in God's side, we are one. We are in unity. But doesn't mean that we have to always do things together because we have our own interests. Like I like sport. I always went to do exercise. Used to be I play a lot of badminton, and now I turn to tennis. So tennis become my interest. So I have my own interests. So my wife never stopped me because I at the same time I have a balanced life. I went out, I go out to play my sport. I come back to look after the children, the wife. So she will let me do my own interests. So I think that's important because we are one, but we are different. Like Connie like reading at home, so I respect her time. She stay at home reading. I go out more for sport. So I never telling her, hey, come with me, and she never asked me to come to stay more at home to do some reading. So we respect one another. So individually we have our own interests, but at the same time we look after the children. We love each other. I think that's important. We respect each other.
I just want to show you. Can you click a diagram? Oh, yeah, that's right. So in a marriage, two shall be one, all right? But you cannot lose yourself, all right? You are still an individual before God. So don't lose your individuality. So the left-hand side is called enmeshed dynamic. That means you're always together, right? So you have to be always with me. So it is unhealthy. A healthy relationship is you maintain your individuality, but you are also interrelated. So they're always us, they're also me.
Thank you. So talking about individual, how about like you can speak some more specific like finance? So how do you manage finance together, and has your approach changed over time?
It's not everyone doing this way, but at the beginning, the first day we got married, actually even before that happened, because we planned as to be married, and we always have one account from beginning till now. So I never have my own account telling you pay for this, I pay for this time. No, we always have the same account. But so, of course, when we decide to buy things or buy property, whatever, some need, we inquire from each other. So at least she or me will not accept. But so we do think we always do it together in one bank account.
According to statistic, right? Why there's so many divorce? Finance is one of the major factor caused divorce. All right, so finance is important, and so this question, how do you manage your finance? So actually, it's not a finance. The problem is not the finance. The problem is the trust. If you can trust each other, finance is no problem. But because you cannot trust each other, finance become a problem. That is mine, that is yours, right? So in a relationship, it's about trust. So it's how to build trust. All right. So this is another topic.
We may discuss more if we have chance. So we just heard about your story and how you deal with all the conflicts and all the things. So, what were some of the biggest challenge you faced in your marriage, and how did you overcome them?
There were many challenges in the past. I still remember at one point, because our children start to get more rebellious, the eldest and the second one. That's why in the end we homeschool the third one, Priscilla. She's the best. Homeschooling everything, because it's from influence from family. And remember, for first and second one start being rebellious and so many challenges. At that time, I feel a bit depressed about their change. So I didn't know how to handle. At that time, I feel that I need to go back to Hong Kong because I need a bigger community. That's why at that time, I always have argument with Connie. I want to go. I want to leave this country. It's too much for me. So.
Right. Really big challenges. And that challenge lasts for 10 years. So because our eldest, you don't have experience for the eldest. And you know my daughter, right? She's really loving the Lord now. And most of the people in our church know her. But during that year, because she's really, really off track. Yeah. And so that is one challenge, and we pray, and then things only get worse. So Ming keeps saying that we need to go back to Hong Kong because this environment is no good. So I pray, and then I'm so clear that God told us to come here. So I just couldn't agree with him. But I know he really wanted to, but I make a mistake. I held him, and asked him not to. Actually, I should let him do it and let him take responsibility. Because when I let go, I believe God will intervene. But anyway, God did intervene. So during that time, because for 10 years, so we can talk about everything, but just this area we cannot touch. So then what did we do? All this time, someone support us, because after we became a Christian, we never miss church. Every Sunday, we are in the church, right? Basically, every Sunday. So even traveling, we still find a church to go. So we are always accompanied by brother and sister in the Lord who encourage us, support us. So during that 10 years, we are very thankful. There are some brother and sister supporting us, praying for us, and instead of condemning, oh, you must be a bad parents causing this trouble, they're really supportive. They understand, and they just walk alongside with us. We are very thankful. And eventually, God sent someone playing the role as a counselor, really help us to reconcile this matter, and then we let go. So that is how we overcome.
It's very important for you, especially as a Christian, or even though you're not a non-believer, hope that you accept Jesus as your Savior one day, because you know that God creates us. He knows the best. Even though you have talent in something, you don't forget it's God put this talent into your body, into your life. God will look after it. God will continue to plant it, and then let it excel. So I think I'm here. We got so many tennis fans here because God put this in within you already. So, and so much fun, isn't it? So our life is so much fun if you submit yourself to God. God are not just putting you down or don't do this, don't do this. No, God has so many within your life. Bring it up, and then you find that wow, if our future is in His hand. No matter your career, your marriage, your career, everything, even your interests. When God take over, you find that you have the most blessed life. You enjoy abundance of your life. That's why Jesus promised us that He gives us life abundantly, not just life, abundantly. That's why following Jesus is the best way.
Yeah. Actually, this question number 7 is talking about our challenges in our marriage. So during those years, because of the pressure from our children, it affects our relationship. It does affect our relationship. But I want to share some trap that many couples fall into. Is when the children has problem, they put the children between husband and wife. So because you did that, that's why the children are like that. All right. So blaming each other. All right. So I saw many. So that's where we did have some friends like our age when their children also went through some difficult time. They put the children in between them. Eventually, they divorce because too much pressure. All right. So the children should always under us. So parents are the leaders. So we need to agree. Even we have difference in opinion and disagreement, but the children always see us one. So they will get the same thing from us. So they cannot play around us. So the children is always under us. So we are the leader. So we learn that this is the God's order. God, husband, wife, children. So your marriage is, when you have a good and strong marriage, is the greatest blessing for your children. So don't put the children the same level as your spouse. That's why if the children disrespect daddy, mommy should say no. If the children disrespect mommy, the daddy should step in. All right. So that's how we very important. So during those years, I see this is the wisdom of God. Even though we went through a hard time, but we learned so much during that time. That's why today I can help. That's why I can help people with relationship and parenting, because we did went through the trouble, and God always turned bad things into good.
Just one example is when you first got married, your photo is always just two of us. And once they got married and got children, and then suddenly the profile becomes the wife and the children, or very special, the wife and the children. Hey, where's the husband? Somewhere else, being forgotten. And they said that it happened to Chinese a lot, because their attention put on the children so much that they forget about each other. So actually, most important is the relationship between husband and wife. One day the children will gone, and only being left alone is you together. But a lot of Chinese parents, after the children grew up, and then the wife or husband are like stranger, because they haven't talked for maybe 20 something years. No, that's the problem. So that's why the wife or husband always is your best. So when you're together, look after the children, it's okay. They know that we're always together. We're always the same mind. So when they try to challenge us, telling me something, no, we are the same. So that's why from now on, our photo, look at my iPhone, that's still Connie, not the children.
By doing that, the children are very respectful. The children really honor us, and the children bought us a honeymoon from today.
Oh. That means during this time, like we know that even though you have facing a big challenge, you still like still spare some time, right? To connect. So the next question is that what are some everyday habits you can share that can help you stay connect over time?
Yeah, of course, every day, as I say, the most important things in the morning before you leave, I always say, come, hey, don't forget, I give you a big kiss and big hug. That's very important. Don't let your wife just go without seeing you, give you a big kiss first. Big hug is so important. Even though you're married for so long, big kiss and big hugs cannot be missed. And also at the same time, because Connie go out for counseling, so I always sit at the office waiting for her to come back. And I make sure when she come back, park the car, I'm the one to open the door to welcome her back and give her a big kiss and big hug.
I think woman was designed to receive. So if you're a woman, you just receive it. Don't say, "哎呀，唔好咁啊，老土啦." Don't do that. So women are designed to receive. So although sometimes I do, very sticky, very hot, but I learned to receive, and that is our position before God to always receive. Yeah, I think He gives me more than I give Him. I only cook for Him. That's all what I do.
So in your marriage, you of course as a human being, we know ourselves so well. But how about in your marriage? What have you learned about yourself through your marriage?
I think after our marriage, I start to understand more of my weakness. Actually, everyone has your back, isn't it? Can you see your back? Can you see your own back? No. That's why once you get married, you start to realize that your weakness, your shortcoming, without your wife, you never know. By yourself, you think I'm so good. But after you married for so many, you find that many things you can't see. Sometimes I think that's right, but after consequence come, you say, "Oh, I should have listened to my wife." No, because I think, as I said, God put woman there is a compliment. That things you cannot see, but you can. That's sometimes when you say no, stop for a while, and then listening to God, or maybe we think about that and make decision later, because you must understand. If you don't understand, you're a fool. Your back you cannot see, but your wife, your husband can see.
Yeah, I think I learned so much about myself because without someone next to you, I just think you always agree with yourself. You know that you always agree with yourself, but with someone, he'll disagree. All right, so that is when he disagrees, then I have a choice. So as the Bible say, what do you focus on? So the mind governed by the flesh is death. The flesh, that means our natural being. All right. The mind governed by the spirit is life and peace. So that is what the Bible teaches us how to live. So because we all have an old self and old life, all right? But when Jesus died, my old self has died. But sometimes I still resurrect that old life, which I should not. All right. Sometimes we make you, you're finally, right? You're really annoyed. All right. And yeah, all this is leading to death. And then I say, no, that is not me. And then I know I have a new life in me. So I learned to follow Jesus, learn to follow the Spirit, and then it end up life and peace. So this is a journey. So I'm still learning. I'm still in the process, but I experience more life and peace now than 10 years ago, than 30 years ago. So I'm getting more and more life and peace as I journey with Jesus in our marriage.
Thank you. So, can you like after few sharing through the different questions, can you give us some like kind of the conclusion like that? Like, what is the most important quality for a successful marriage?
I think to us, as I shared before, we need a third party, as Jesus is our love. Because somehow found that even though we know I need to love my wife, I need to forgive my wife, but somehow you have no strength, no power. That's why our human being is that you know something you should do, but you can't. That's our human's problem. That's why since I become a Christian, I find that I have the power and strength. Of course, at first beginning, you find that you can't. I can't forgive her anymore. I can't love her anymore. But when you turn to Christ, turn to God Himself, you receive the love, receive the forgiveness, and then you have the strength to love, to forgive. That's why, I can't imagine, to be honest, from the beginning till now. At the beginning, I got a very good family. That's the family I love to go back. Every day after I finish my work, I want to go back. Sorry, at that time I was a teacher, and I always wait until the bell ring. I jump in the car. I want to pick up my wife. I go back to the family. That's the thing I so long for. After finish work, no more other things. I want to go straight to home. From the first marriage till now, my home is my heaven. Of course, church is another heaven. Okay, our family is so good. So I love coming to church, worshiping the Lord. I love going to my family, surrounded by my wife, my children. There's so much blessing from the family. That's why men try to go other place to seek for happiness. No, that's the best thing is at your home. Go back to your family. You enjoy so much of your wife and your children. They're surrounding you.
Thank you. And what is the most important? Yeah, I think most important, you need to connect to the one with unlimited supply of love. Because our love is very limited. Human love is very limited. It's like a battery. You know, the battery, you run out. All right. So if you connect to the source, like you plug in, then you have unlimited supply. So connection to God is the most important. But there are also some very important quality. Treasure each other. Don't take marriage for granted. All right. Don't think, oh, I marry you, you'll never leave me. Don't think like that. We should treasure each other. Every day you have your spouse with you, treasure that moment. Because very interesting, in my counseling room, I can have the client come in, they are complaining, how bad my husband is, how bad my wife is. After that session, another client come in, he was crying because my husband died. He was grieving. So same counseling room. People are going through different stuff in the marriage. So treasure. Today, you have your wife or your husband with you. Don't take it for granted. Right? So trust God. Of course, we don't expect anyone will go soon, but we treasure. You have today. Enjoy. So treasure each other, number one. Number two is a lifelong commitment. All right? So there's no way out. Okay? So don't think, things doesn't work. I have to go from the back door. There's no back door, but there's a ladder. You can climb up. Okay, so don't go at the back door, but you can climb up to God. And of course, communication is important. And if you're a Christian, one more. If there's any conflict, need to resolve. So if there's something between us, we cannot sleep.
Don't hide in the carpet.
Don't sweep your problem under the carpet. So if there's something in between, we couldn't sleep. So it's okay, you couldn't sleep one night, right? 2 nights, it's very hard. 3 nights, wow, you get sick. All right, so better resolve it as soon as you can. But also, you need to wait until both are ready to resolve. Sometimes you're angry or you're still very emotional. Don't do it. All right, because you cannot resolve conflict when you are too emotional. So wait, calm down through prayer, time. Now we are ready. Let's go back to what the problem is. Define the issue, then need to resolve. So don't let any issue unresolved, because if you leave it there, they will become bitterness. If you leave the bitterness, that will become resentment. 不满, 不滿. And then from resentment become anger. And then that's how we break the marriage.
That's why you need to maintain intimate relationship with your husband and wife. Because once you maintain this intimate relationship, because you, for example, you are in bed always hugging each other, always want her to be by myself, hugging her, touching her, in bed even. That's your everyday life. But if one day you feel that, hey, why my husband sleeping this way, I sleep this way, don't want to touch me, why? And then straight away there's problems. But you always like separate rooms. You never see the problem. You're separate bed. Oh, we are normal. But no, if you maintain your intimate relationship every day, you straight away that why today she doesn't touch me or he doesn't touch me. That's why you must be sensible to each other, because sensitive to each other, because you maintain the intimate relationship every day. Once it breaks, straight away.
And of course, for Christians, pray together, keep growing as a Christian, and serve God together.
Thank you. In the few questions, we're talking about like marriage, and you give us a very good example and advice on to keep your marriage fresh. So do you have any suggestion for those who thinking marry, or for those who still single, like how they can search their life partner, something?
Yeah, for me, I've been so grateful because since I accept the Lord Jesus, I know what is love, what's forgiveness. I think most important is you're a non-believer. To be honest, receive Jesus as your Savior, and that will change your whole life. But at least if you are not, you think of marriage, knowing that marriage is not a agreement or a contract. It's things that you love someone, you're willing to sacrifice for her or him. Because sometimes a lot of marriages, we are all self-centered. I marry you because one day you cook for me. Are you going to cook for me? Oh, so I will have to think about it. So if she doesn't satisfy me, or I don't satisfy, and that I will think about, or you don't love me. No, it's not agreement or contract. It's not that you have to satisfy me in this way. It's how I should sacrifice for the other side. That's important.
Actually, he cooked for me before got married. After got married, I cook for him. All right. But it's good. I don't want him in the kitchen. Right? Let me cook. All right. So I think it's also good. I just let him do whatever he's good at, and he let me do what I'm good at.
Michael cooked for his wife.
Yeah. So what advice to give those who are looking for a mate? All right. Of course, if you're married, it's not for you. All right. Before you get married, please get to know that person. All right. It takes time to know the person's value. I think value is the most important. All right. What is the value of that person? So how can you know the person's value? If you are, what is your value? They must say good things, all right? My value is the family, I care of the family. So a lot of good words. So you have to see where this person put their money, where this person put their time. Because where they put their time and money, it tells what they value. All right. So get to know that person, and you take some time to know that person. That's why I don't suggest you just know each other for 6 months and then get married. You take time. And of course, if you're a Christian, we have, if you come to our church, we always teach this kind of thing, right? So as a person, as a human being, we have 3 parts: spirit, soul, and body. All right? So if you're a Christian, your spirit is alive. If you're not a Christian, your spirit is disconnected from God. So if there's no connection in the spirit, it's very hard to maintain a relationship. All right? So the spirit need to have fellowship, have connection. And then the soul. The soul is your thinking, your emotion, and your choice. So that part is our soul. So in order to have a strong, because you're looking for a mate, be very, very careful. Connection in the spirit, connection in the soul, and then connection in the body is about sex. That is only good after marriage, because that person has committed to you. Then it's the body part. So that is the Bible's order: spirit, soul, and then body. But what the world do is opposite. I like you, you look good, we jump on the bed. So they start with the body, all right? And then they fight. So the soul have problem, all right? Because the spirit was not alive. That's why they do it this way, all right? So for Christians, highly recommend. But even you're non-Christians, I know that person seems fits me quite well. I suggest you go for pre-marriage counseling. So pre-marriage counseling is before you get married, just give you some idea what is involved in a marriage. So just prepare you better, all right? So we can prepare ourselves to the best, but the one who sustains it is still God and God's love.
Thank you, Pastor Connie and Pastor Ming. So we have 11 questions actually is received from our brother and sister. So now we have a good time for you to, if you have any question, we welcome you to have question for Pastor Ming and Pastor Connie. So anyone want to have any question after the sharing? Anyone want to have a question? If not, this is a good time, good opportunity for you to if you have any question. If no, we just stop here, but don't go, because we have a cake to share, and then we want to have a photo together, for this special event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you. So what we are going to do is we put this table down there and then put a cake there, and then you all come up, then we take a group photo.